This collection is called Wild Child. It's called Wild Child due to Monki's playful element and childness-like, also their ethos of gender neutral. I wanted a range of research including WJSN, recent catwalks from Vogue, and 90s catwalks. What interested me was 90s grunge. I liked how the different textures and layers of different fabrics work together, and also how the I don't care vibe. I found it crucial to create my mood boards for narrative and muse and target audience, so I could keep referring back to that while in my design process. I wanted to concentrate mostly on screen printing due to the fact that I don't have much confidence in this area. I wanted to use a range of techniques in this project, including screen printing, devore, normal pigment, reactive, and acid discharge printing. I also wanted to do a lot of cross dyeing, which I haven't had much experience with, and also I wanted to do acid and direct dyeing. I felt like this was vital due to the fact that it felt more like my collection and colour matching other than buying fabric from the store. I felt like the safety pins aspect was very grunge and very important due to the history of safety pins. Safety pins have a history of young people wearing them to show that they're safe to the LGBTQ plus community, and felt like this went with Monki's ethos. I also really wanted them to be neon on a very, very thin fabric, which would be able to be layered. I'm really happy with how this turned out and found that the shapes were really interesting. I also did digital printing fabric. I did this on Cotton Jessica, which was a bit temperamental because of the shrinkage, which just meant that I had to alter my files on Photoshop to add 10%. I also added a bit of allowance due to trimming and taping. I would say that one of my favourite elements of this project was seeing my designs on visualizations on Swatch Editor. This helped me with scale and to see what type of fabrics would work well. For example, fabrics and silhouettes are really important in fashion. I found a few issues with digital printing, not only the shrinking, but had to separate certain fabrics from each other due to the ink and the dye. I didn't want them to clash and merge together. But also, I found that a lot of my colours that seemed really bright online on Photoshop did not translate well on fabric. I had to do a lot of problem solving with some of my prints, including my A2 print, which I had to use flock and foil on top of my bows because they just blended in, as you can see. I used a little paintbrush for the most of the details and used a bright pink flock and foil. Overall, I'm really happy with how this worked out and how cohesive my collection looks. I wish I used more techniques and wish that I pushed myself harder, but I feel like I did do a lot of ranges of techniques and I pushed myself in the screen printing aspect and the dye room